Great. Yeah. So I think what I will do is I will give a brief introduction about myself and about the training. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. So welcome everyone. And then I can send a recorded session with everyone. What I would do is I will just tell you what is the agenda for this today's workshop. So I can quickly, brief you about it. And then I will try to cover maximum things, maximum questions. But then I post that if you have anything, please do let me know. Okay, so I will just brief about myself, my experience. I will brief you about this training. What is the just a generic introduction about the training, the structure of the training, the modules, and the curriculum. And then, of course, if you want to check the reviews, I will send you the link later. You can check it. Some of the FAQs, which people normally would ask me most of the time, I will share that with you. And then beyond that, if you have any question, please do feel free to ask, right? So I'm just going to quickly share a brief intro about myself. So I am based in Singapore. And I've been teaching yoga for the last 7 years. I am specializing in kids yoga. I'm also a specialized teacher for teens. I've got a specialized training for that. So I'm the lead trainer for 95 hours Kids Yoga Teachers Training. I created this training, and I'm also a content creator. I create a lot of content. In fact, I enjoy creating content on YouTube, Udemy, and on my own platform. And I've got 3,000 plus hours of teaching experience, and I'm registered a Yoga Alliance teacher as RCYT, ERYT, and a 200 hours YACEP. So I'm a continuous education provider. And although I'm passionate about teaching yoga to teenagers and kids, but I'm also certified in Hatha Yoga, Yin Yoga, yoga therapies, anatomy, prenatal, mindfulness, and sound healing. I think that's just a journey of self-discovery that we always keep learning. And I've created this Yoga Alliance approved Kids Yoga Teachers Training in 2021. And since then, I've already run 10 batches of this training. I've run it in person and online. I do online every month, and I do in-person trainings in Singapore, Bali, Thailand, and India as well. And so the whole objective of this training is to, inspire others to teach yoga to kids in a format that they will enjoy. So that's what this training is about. But even though the training is fun, but still the training, basically the teaching that you do with the kids, not only it's fun, but it's meaningful for them. It's informative for them, right? So the whole training structure is also like that. And in 2020, I have launched this whole online platform where the training is also hosted. So throughout the training, everybody accesses the training online, right? So you don't have to deal with multiple papers and multiple emails on the content. Everything is accessible online, which I can share with you later after this training, right? Okay, so a brief introduction about this training. There is a video also of it, which you can click on it later if you want. It's the same thing that I'm going to share most of it. So the training is approved by Yoga Alliance, right? So if you're already Hatha Yoga 200 hours, you can apply for RCYT. Some people, they want that registered children yoga teacher. So you can go on Yoga Alliance website and later, apply for it and I can approve it. And however, if you're not 200 hours Hatha Yoga teacher, then it's still okay. People come to this training from different backgrounds. Yoga teachers come, school teachers come, parents come, educators come. It is open to anyone who likes to work with the kids. The format of the training is it's fun and creative. It is informative and it is interactive. The reason, the first thing that I mentioned is fun and creative, because of course, when you work with the kids, you need to bring in that angle of fun in the class, you know, because when you're working with the kids, the learning has to be fun and they learn it better, when it's a positive environment and they're able to connect with each other. So there is a lot of creative way of teaching yoga to the kids that you will learn in this. That's going to be fun for them. When I say creative ways, that means that you will learn to teach yoga to kids through, say, yoga themes. So we will example, like if you are, say, with the younger kids, like, kids today, let's plan that we are going to ocean, right? And we are going to do some ocean breathing. So you can do some ocean breathing with them. So I'm going to share with you all the creative kinds of breathing. And what do you see on ocean? We see, suppose, dolphin. So let's do dolphin pose. So this is just one example. Or you will learn, teach yoga to kids through yoga songs, through music, right? So what happens is that every age group that you work in, your teaching style would change, right? The content would change, the format would change, and you're going to learn about that in this. So you're going to be learning a lot of fun and creative ways of teaching yoga to kids. The second thing is the training is very informative. It is very educational. You're going to be learning, you're going to be having lots of information about teaching yoga to kids, starting from, how to teach yoga to kids, how to make learning fun for kids, why yoga for kids, what are the benefits of yoga for kids. You're going to learn about classroom management. You're going to learn about behavior management. You're going to learn about anatomy, special needs. So over the period of like for offline training, it is 10 days. For online training is 20 days, right? So we are going to be covering all that in a fun, interactive educational format, right? And the training is very interactive. That means we are going to have a lot of class assignments, presentations, discussions, so that by the end of the training, you feel very confident that, yes, I'm ready to teach yoga to the kids. So you're going to be, working through many assignments throughout the training, right? Any questions on this so far? I'm just going to stop share and just ask you guys if you have any questions so far, what I have shared with you, and then I will share more.
Yeah, just now you mentioned that online is 20 days.
Yeah.
Is on weekend?
So it starts every month. So the next one is starting on 15th February. And it is actually every day for 2 hours, excluding Sunday. So excluding Sunday, it is there for.
Oh, it's continuous.
Yeah, so every 15th Feb to 9th March, the training is there. And it's a continuous training, excluding Sunday, for 2 hours every day in the evening. Yeah. So
In
depends
the
on.
evening. In the evening means what time?
So for Singapore this time it is 9:30 to 11:30, the time right now for this training. Because
Morning,
no, night. Night.
night time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But for the
Oh,
offline training, the timing is 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. For the offline training that is going to happen in Singapore.
oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yes. So the training format, I think you understood. It is creative, it is fun. You're going to learn many things in, teaching yoga to the kids in a creative format. It's going to be educational, so you will have lots of information about, theoretical part basically of it, anatomy, special needs, class structure, how to create a lesson plan, yoga philosophies, benefits of yoga for the kids, and why teaching yoga to kids is different than adults. So there are so many things, and the most important thing is you're going to learn about the teaching techniques. How to teach yoga to every age group in a way that they can understand. Because if you teach yoga to 2 to 4 year old in the same way you would teach a teenager, then of course the class not very something that will go smooth, because they are both different audience altogether. So you're going to learn in this training, a very important thing is how to teach yoga to kids in a way their age group can understand. So that's a very important part of this training. And of course all the things of creative ways of teaching, like yoga games, yoga themes, yoga journey, music, songs, storybooks, all I'm going to share. And you will also share how to teach meditation to the kids and all that. And this training is going to be basically 2 to 18 years old. So I have divided the age group from 2 to 8 is module 1, and from 9 to 18 is module 2, right? So I'm going to just come to the training, sharing the screen again with you guys. And yes, training is very interactive, so you will have many opportunities to share, learn, present assignments. So later on when I share this document with you, you can click on it and you will land on this link, and you can basically go through all the details what I'm telling you. You can again go through this and read all this thing again if you feel like. Yeah, and now I'm just going to go to my presentation again. Yes, so okay, back on the presentation. And yes, okay. So this training is divided into module 5, whatever option you choose, either it's online or offline. Yeah, there are 5 modules that are there in this training. Module 1 would be basically primarily about the foundation of teaching yoga to the kids, where you will learn something basic about, why yoga for kids, what are the benefits of yoga for kids, introduction to breathing, how breathing right is important and what are the creative ways of breathing, then teaching techniques that are primarily going to focus on age group 2 to 8 years old. And then you're going to also learn creative ways of practicing yoga, meditation, and mindfulness for kids, class structure, and class management. So that's module one. After the module one is finished, we do one presentation. All the kids will do one, all the students will do one presentation. Then is module two. Module two primarily focus on teaching techniques, development stages for tweens and teens, which is basically 9 to 12 years old and 13 to 18 years old. So module two focuses on that. Module 3 and 4 is primarily, one is yoga philosophies. That yoga philosophy is like, how do you teach life skills to the kids, or 8 limbs of yoga? How do you teach in a way kids can understand? Like, how do you teach happiness to the kids? How do you teach gratitude to the kids? How do you teach kindness to the kids? So all this is mentioned in the 8 limbs of yoga. So a little bit of focus is there on the yoga philosophies, but most important is how do you teach that to the kids? And module 5 is all about how do you set up yourself as a kids yoga professional? How do you set up your kids yoga business? After you have done this training with me, what are the next steps? And then we have one more presentation post that, yeah, which is your final presentation. So any questions on module you guys want to ask me?
I just said that it's all clear as of now.
Okay.
It's all clear. Yeah. If there are any questions later on, I'll connect with you.
Okay, definitely. Joanne, do you want to ask me any question?
So far, not. It's quite clear. Thank you so much for the sharing.
Okay, great. So I'll just move on to my next slide then. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So if you are doing online, this training is for 20 days, like I was saying, and there is a day-by-day schedule for 20 days. If you do this training offline, this training is for 10 days. The next training, online training, starts from 15th February to 9th March. And the online training happens 2 hours every day, excluding Sunday. So 15th Feb to 9th March, every day, excluding Sunday. It is 7 to 9 p.m. India time, which is 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. Singapore time. And Sunday is not there. And this is a tentative schedule day by day. Okay, if you do this training offline in Singapore, which is going to start from 27th February at Vyasa Yoga Singapore, then the training schedule is for 10 days. So every day it is 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. We will have a break for 1 hour for lunch. And we finish this training in 10 days. And we do the similar thing. All the modules I'm going to be covering in 10 days. And you will do mix of theory, practice. And this whole practice, whole training is a good blend of traditional and modern approaches. So traditional approaches means you will learn to teach, yoga philosophies, mudras, mantras to the kids. But when I say modern approaches, you will also learn how to creatively engage yoga, creatively engage kids in yoga, right? Through music, props, songs, themes, yoga journeys, storybooks. So it's a good blend of both the approaches, right? And here's a sample class for reference also. So I'm going to be sharing this deck with you guys. And you can click on this and see my style of teaching. This is a reference video from one of my class. Yeah, so you can see that. Okay. Moving on, of course, I think all of you may be already aware of like why we do this, because there are lots of benefits of introducing yoga to the kids. There are physical benefits, which obviously improves their strength and flexibility. It helps them improve the posture. And there are other benefits apart from physical benefits, is the emotional benefits, that how we can help kids, manage anxiety and stress, improve their focus and concentration, help them manage their feeling through the practice of yoga and mindfulness. But that cannot happen if we don't approach yoga in a way they will like it, right? So that's the reason this whole yoga, we have to make interesting and engaging for them. And that's what this training is going to teach you, that how do you make yoga interesting, engaging for the kids. Yeah. And then apart from all the physical and mental benefits, if you are a practitioner, you would also experience that yoga is also really good for improving self-discipline, improving your self-love, self-care for yourself. It builds awareness, which is very big life skills. As we grow, these skills are very important. And through the practice of yoga, if kids start this early, they can get these skills and really take benefits of yoga from young age. Yeah. And yeah, this is a very big question that comes to me, that a lot of times we think that, after, if we are only teaching yoga to the adults, then yes, we can teach yoga to the kids. But frankly, I can just share from my experience. 7 years back, I did my 200 hours hatha yoga and then started teaching kids. Of course, when you do that with a proper orientation about how to, share yoga with the kids, you will feel the difference, because children and teens, they're not mini adults. So we cannot share the yoga in a same way, as we would share with the adults. So that's the reason it is very important to have a proper training to teach yoga to the kids, so that, both teacher and the kids feel comfortable with each other. You know what is expected, what is for which age group, how you should be teaching. So from the anatomy of the kids to the attention span, there are differences, that influence how kids move through yoga poses and how an adult will do the yoga, right? So understanding these differences is also very important, right? How to keep kids safe on the mat, but also making yoga fun and engaging for them. So teaching yoga to kids is a lot of things. So it's not just about yoga poses, right? It is a mixture of classroom management. It is a mixture of creative ways of practicing yoga. Kids can ask us many questions sometimes, and how do we creatively reply to them? How do we do spontaneous thinking? So all this, I prepare students to do it, so that they are really ready to, work with the kids. So, and it of course takes a lot of patience to work with the kids. So, but it's really worth it if we keep our patience, because every class will teach you something. Like, I'm also still learning. I've been teaching yoga to kids for the last 7 years. But at the end of the day, teaching yoga to the kids is very fulfilling when you see that kids are getting benefits of yoga from young age. So it's very special if you can, work with the kids and teach yoga to them. It's really fun and fulfilling. Yes. So I'm going to cover this, and then I will basically ask you guys if you have any question. So one of the very common questions that I get is that I'm not a yoga teacher. Can I still take this training? So firstly, I will ask that all of you are yoga teachers, or some of you are like doing yoga, but you are not yoga teachers. So may I ask that maybe that question will make sense. Otherwise, I can skip that question. So anyone wants to share? Prachi, are you teaching yoga already?
No, I am not. So I am
Okay.
very naive to this. So and I have not teached yoga before.
Okay, that I just wanted to know. So definitely, if you are not a yoga teacher, you can still take training. Yes, definitely, and you can teach yoga to the kids, because, like I was mentioning just in previous slide, because when you're teaching yoga to the kids, it is so much beyond, just teaching yoga postures, right? So it is like how creative ways of teaching kids yoga. How do you help them, build social skills, build connection, classroom management, spontaneous thinking. So all this you will prepare yourself in the training. And if you are not a yoga teacher, you will still learn, like, I think 50 plus yoga poses I teach in the class. And we do a lot of assignments in the class. So you will all learn all this training in a structured format through assignments, through interactive session, which will help you become a confident kids yoga teacher. So everyone who leaves the training, that's the one consistent thing everyone says, is that we are just so ready that we can teach tomorrow, right? So that's why I say that, because teaching yoga to kids is not just about yoga poses, right? Or yoga flows or vinyasa flows. It is about bringing in a lot of creativity in the class. It is about a lot of, how do you manage kids, and if you enjoy with kids, and a lot of spontaneous thinking in the kids. And at the end of the day, when you start teaching yoga to the kids, it's a growing journey for you also. You also would learn so many things on the go, right? So many people who come in the training are not yoga teachers, but they still are teaching yoga now, because they're from different backgrounds. Some are parents, some are educators, some are school teachers, right? So there is no a barrier on, who can take this training. Anyone who wants to work with the kids, or enjoys with the kids, or, contribute to the kids' well-being, can take this training. Yes, then another question which many people ask me, is it a certified course? Can they pursue it as a career poster training? So yes, this training is recognized by Yoga Alliance, and there are a lot of demand for yoga. It's been 7 years now. I have not had a single month when I am not, doing yoga with the kids. So there is a lot of demand for kids yoga. And in the training, I also have a separate segment where I am preparing students to, help them understand how to set up their kids yoga business after they have done the training. What is the step-by-step approach of setting your own self after doing this training? So training is not only about doing the training, but yes, what are the next steps? So we will also work on that. And I'll also share with you, I'm also a digital marketer. So I'm also going to be sharing with you tools of digital marketing, content marketing, and how you can use that to set up your kids yoga business and work on promoting that. And there are plenty of opportunities to teach yoga to the kids in housing societies, in yoga studios, in private yoga, kindergarten, schools, libraries, yoga retreats. So there are so many opportunities. Sky is the limit if you are passionate about, doing this. So that's what I always tell. You have to be at it. You have to be passionate. There is no dearth of opportunities for teaching yoga to the kids. Yeah. Okay, if you want to apply for RCYT, of course, you can log in on Yoga Alliance and then basically just I can approve it. This is just if you want to apply, it's optional. There is no compulsion for this. Yeah. Now, people ask me this question, I'm not flexible enough. Can I teach yoga to the kids? Yes, because kids are not going to judge you on your flexibility. And it is again coming back to the same thing. Kids yoga is so much beyond yoga posture. It's not about doing that perfect yoga posture. Even kids are not judging you. Even we don't judge kids that they are in that perfect alignment. Most important is that we teach them coordination, balance, mind body connection, being creative, right? So flexibility is not a barrier for teaching yoga to the kids, or also because I teach yoga to the adults also, flexibility is not the prerequisite of practicing yoga. You become flexible in your body and mind after doing, right? So it's never a prerequisite for starting your journey. Yeah. So these are some of the wonderful, beautiful reviews which my students have shared. So I'm going to share this deck with you. You can check it later on Google reviews or on this. Yeah, there are some video reviews also which are on my YouTube. I put it here as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to. Yeah, so I think that's it. And I'm going to just stop share. And then I'm going to just open this forum to you. If you guys want to ask me any question, any doubt you have, please do ask me so I can help you. This is your chance.
Yeah, I would like to ask, is it when we do online, so when teaching posture, should I need to find a student like a kid for you for the video up teaching
No.
to like I know last time I have joined a online course, they want me to find a student and video out the project.
No. So in this one, what happens is whatever assignments you will do, it is with the students itself. So what I do is I make groups with the students. Suppose Prachi and Joanne, just giving example, a part of the training. So I make groups between, say, example, Prachi and Joanne. So you are going to do the assignment together and you don't have to get another student. So you discuss with each other and present. Or if it's an individual assignment, then you just do it. You don't have to find any kid for doing this training, right? Is that okay?
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
great.
yeah. So I don't put any bottleneck in the training which stops anyone from learning. There is no bottleneck, right? It is smooth flow where you're just learning, and nothing should basically stop you from learning anything. So there is nothing like that you have to find someone to do any training. Yeah. Yeah. Joanne, any other question you have?
Nope.
Okay, great. And Prachi, do you have any question for me?
So Parul, thank you so much for this session. Actually, it was very informative, and all the questions which I had in mind were already covered by you.
We are
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
online training every month. And Joanne, if
Okay.
you're in Singapore, you want to join the Singapore training, then it's starting on 27th Feb. Yeah. So it's actually totally depends on individual preference. Do you want to do school-based, like you want to come in person? Then you can join me in Singapore since I am based here. But if online suits you, yes, then you can join me online. So 7 to 9 p.m. is India time. And for Singapore, that would be 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
So no worries. You guys can choose, whatever suits you, the coming one or the next upcoming. You can just let me know. I mean, you have my contact. I'm going to take the email ID and share the slides also with you guys. So no worries. Take your time. I always feel when you're ready, you're ready. Then nothing will stop you. So
Okay.
just see, when you really feel strongly about this, that this is for you, just message me and then I'll share with you all the details for registration.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. almost finishing, but if you have any question, please do ask me so I can help you.
Yeah, I have one question. I have done my 200-hour TTC.
Okay,
So
great.
my question was in that also I am eligible to teach the kids. So
Okay.
how is this course like different from what I have already done?
So, Sneha, I don't know what you did for kids, but I can share with you what I will do and then maybe you can compare. Is that okay?
Yeah, that will be fine.
Yeah. So firstly, this training is, I'm just going to share with you quickly. So this training format is fun and creative. When I say fun and creative, because when you're working with the kids, you really need to understand that how to make learning fun for the kids. And in that, basically, we have a very detailed sessions for that, which will I'll take like 3 to 4 days, talking about how to make learning fun for the kids, which is primarily, how to teach kids in a creative format through, say, yoga theme. So I'm going to be sharing multiple yoga themes with all of you. That how do you make yoga creative for kids? Like that yoga theme can be like, creating an ocean theme, or creating a self-confidence theme, or creating a happiness theme. Now, just giving an example, this theme is different across age group, right? 2 to 4 years old will learn yoga differently than a teenager. So, how to make yoga fun, creative, engaging from the age group of 2 to 18 years old? So, the very major part of this training is also development stages, understanding each development stage, and how to design a teaching technique based on that. Because if we are not aware, just for example, like how a 2-year-old development stage is and how a 2-year-old learn, then our teaching that we do it with them might not go right, right? And sometimes it might not be safe also. So, for example, 2 to 4-year-old kid, when I share that they learn best by visuals, they learn best by pictures, they learn best by music, they learn best by songs, they learn best by, visuals or music or stories. Now, the whole, when you are with them, you design your class according to that. And that's the training that I'm going to give for every age group. That every age group has got some highlight which we need to remember. And if you practice or teach yoga in that way, your class will always go smooth, right? So there are fun and creative methods of teaching yoga to the kids, and I am going to be sharing multiple creative ways, which is basically stories, music, themes, yoga journeys, and teaching techniques for every age group. And then the training is very educational. Of course, that covers the basics of foundation, like, of course, why yoga for kids, benefits of yoga. But more than that, when you are with the kids, we might know a lot of yoga poses, but it is also, we might know a lot of fun and creativity thing also. But what is more important also is that how do you work with the kids in a positive way? That's where the come is the class management strategies, behavior management strategies, positive behavior management strategies. So I focus a lot on how do you manage kids in a positive way. So when I say educational, it's going to cover class management, class structure, how to create a lesson plan, how throughout the whole training you will have many presentation where you're presenting your lesson plans, you're creating yourself. Of course, I train people to do that, so that once you leave the training you can create these lesson plan instantly, and you basically get access to these resources on my platform. But yes, I'm going to just show you quickly here. So yes, suppose this one is online, so I'm just going to share with you quickly. So everyone basically who is there in the training gets access to this online platform, wherein you can, so I'm just share this. So there are no basically papers involved in this. This training basically you can access it online. So just
My another question was,
yeah.
the kids are very fast learner and they are far more flexible than we are.
Mhm.
Like हमारा पिटारा सिखाने का खत्म हो जाएगा, but then they will be like, तो वो मुझे वो question था.
Yeah, so I agree. And I've been teaching yoga to kids for 7 years. So you can understand, that how much creativity you need in the class. And so what I was trying to tell you is that you get access to this training online. I'm just going to show you where you get access to all what I'm going to be sharing with you with free ebook manual. You got a lot of resources on lesson plans, meditation scripts, yoga games, yoga videos, which you can access it. And this training basically makes you equipped. With that, you can start creating this thing yourself. And that's what I said, that I do agree with you that kids do get bored very quickly. But when you learn the basic structure, you can create these things yourself. But it's not that you will start doing it instantly. Of course, you will go through this training and you will learn how to create your own lesson plans. And that's the reason I was saying I keep giving a lot of assignments to people so that you know how to do it yourself, right? So in this training, obviously, you are getting access to all this. So this is what I was saying, that you get access to all the lesson plans here. So they are like, I don't know, 30, 20, 25 lesson plans already, which is there. After you go through this lesson plan, you yourself will be, ready, that you will create it yourself. And I'm going to train you on that. So you can create these resources yourself once you see so many free resources, which you will going to get it from here, right? You're going to get recommendation on books and resources, right? And you're also going to see past trainings. So you can see, and you get the access to this training online for next 3 months. All the live recordings are there with you. And I also basically share with you guys pool of resources, which contains all these things. And that is there with all of you for next 2 years. So you can access those resources for 2 years at your own end. Yes, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. Yeah, so this training has fun angle, creativity angle, educational angle, where you're learning anatomy, special needs, class structure, class management, teaching techniques, creative ways. And the whole training is interactive. That means that you can do all the assignment, you will do a lot of assignments, we will do a lot of class practice together. And so I encourage people to participate in this training a lot, so that you feel very confident by the day that, okay, now I can do this. And most of the people feel that when they go off this training. So it's fun, creative, educational, informative, interactive, right? This training is divided in 5 modules. So the module 1 would basically cover the foundation of yoga. And the most important is going to focus on little yogis, which is primarily 2 to 8 years old. So you will learn for each age group, how do you teach yoga, right? Because every age group is different. So if you are going to approach 2 to 4 in the same way as teenager, the things will not go. So you should know how a 2 to 4 year old learn. You should know how to 4 to 6 years old learn. You to know how to 6 to 8 years old. So as a parent also, it will help you. As a teacher also, it's going to help you, because when we know that this age group, this is what is expected from this, then we are not going to push kids for that. So just to give you an example, 2 to 4 years old kids doesn't have spatial awareness. If you're going to tell them to do camel pose or Ushtra asana, it is not safe. Padma asana is not safe at this age. So you're going to learn how to make yoga safe for kids. At the same time, you're making yoga fun, interesting for them, but also safety, that I'm going to cover in a big way in this. That is very important, right? These days, we see that all the kids are going in different pretzel shapes, and maybe that is not good for them at this age group. So there's a special guest speaker for anatomy. And I'm also going to be covering on safety part. So module 1 is all going to focus on 2 to 8 years old, teaching techniques, development stages, basics and foundation of yoga. And plus that, I'm going to cover some basic topics that are applicable across all age group. That is, over the period of 2 days, I'm going to cover the creativity part of it. How do you make yoga creative and fun for them? I'm also going to be sharing with you how do you approach meditation and mindfulness for the kids, because there is a myth, that meditation is only about sitting for 20 minutes or 10 minutes and doing meditation. But meditation has to be approached in a way the learner can do it, how a kid can do it. So there are different ways to meditate, which kids can do it. And I'm going to be sharing best practices of meditation, which has been life-changing for me in approaching meditation for kids. Right? Earlier, we had this, oh, only closing eyes is important. Only sitting for very long is important. Only sitting quietly is important. Yeah, but many kids or many adults also, we might not find peace by sitting quietly. There is a moving meditation for that. There's a mudra meditation, right? So there are different ways of meditation which can help kids self-regulate. There is no point forcing a kid to sit quietly when he or she is not comfortable. Right? So there are different ways, mandala art, music therapy, sound healing. So you can do so many things, to help kids relax through different ways. So I'm going to be sharing the whole section on relaxation, meditation, mindfulness for the kids. And in module 1, I'm also going to be covering class structure, how do you structure the class? So to your question, you were saying that, our resources might exhaust. But once you understand that this should be a basic structure, then you are empowering yourself to create as many classes yourself. Yeah, so I share a lot of tips on that. And then once it is done, we have a module 1 presentation, primarily when everyone present one lesson plan. for this age group, and one class demonstration, like a 10-minute, whatever you have learned in last, say, 7-8 days. Now you will present of 10 minutes. How do you teach yoga to, say, if you have chosen 2 to 4 or 4 to 6, you choose one segment and you do a demonstration of that before the whole class. It helps you build the confidence. I can also give you a feedback if you need to change anything just to enhance your class practice. And it gives you a lot of confidence to make a lesson plan and present and practice with the kids. So that covers module 1. Module 2 focuses on specific things about tweens, preteens, and teenagers. Because every age group is so unique, they have different characteristics which we need to cater through yoga. Teenagers, if you go and start teaching yoga to them just like that, they might not listen. So we have a special strategies for working with teenagers, a very specific behavior, why teenagers behave in this way. Their brain development is in a different way right now than an adult, and that's the reason they are slightly more impulsive or emotional, reactive. And that's why we have to design the strategy according to their development stage, and similar for all age group. So tweens and teens are going to be focusing on that. The third is yoga philosophy. So you're already in hatha yoga teacher. You might have learned already maybe 8 limbs of yoga philosophy. But what is important is that how do you approach that to the kids? If I start telling kids about pratyahara and dhyana and dharana, just like that, they might not understand. But if I tell them, you're going to be basically working today, learn on santosha, but they might not relate to what is santosha. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you gratitude today, that how you should be thankful. We are going to make a gratitude jar where you're going to write what you're thankful for, right? Or today we're going to learn about why we should not be greedy through a story. So how do you approach these yoga philosophies, 8 limbs of yoga, in a way kids can understand, right? So these are very kid specific, catering, keeping kids in mind, everything. Then anatomy. If you are a yoga teacher, you should also be aware of what are safe practices for the kids. So anatomy for the kids. And last but not the least is a special segment on online yoga. And also on that, after you have done everything, what are the next step of yourself, promoting yourself as a kids yoga teacher? What do you do next? How do you choose the right segment? Where do you choose? How do you market yourself? Since I'm also a digital marketer, I also help people to understand digital marketing a bit for marketing yourself as kids yoga and the platform that are suitable for that. So I'm going to cover all that in that. Yeah. So yes, there is a lot to it, but if you have any specific questions, you can ask me. Or yeah, and I don't know if it answered your question of how is it different, because I don't know what you started, but this is the curriculum I follow.
No, yeah, definitely you have answered a lot of my questions.
Yeah.
Mine was the basic 200 hours TTC, which is common everywhere. Like the basic 200 hour TTC.
Yeah.
I had done that. And in that, you are eligible to teach kids as well. But then, so after doing this course, I will be able to tell myself as an expert in kids yoga.
Of course, you have done a specialized certification, I think. And more than that, I don't know if you have taught yoga to kids already. Did you teach yoga to kids already?
Yeah, I had taken summer camp last year of around 70 kids, 70 kids.
Right.
So it was really fun. And
Huh.
as you said that I had used ocean theme once and then the different themes. So that's what I felt, that 10 days ka tha, so I was able to do it easily. But then 10 days mein I was like, abhi kya? What next? Abhi thik tha, summer camp tha, so it was okay. But then if I'm planning for a regular class, so it will be difficult. एक ये मुझे लगा था. And दूसरा, वो teenage को engage करना was very difficult for me because they were like just doing for the sake of doing.
Correct. That's the, they're going through different changes physically, mentally, emotionally. So many yoga teachers who have come in, who were already hatha yoga, they were teaching, but then definitely they learned specific strategies of engaging kids, engaging tweens, engaging teenagers, specific strategies for meditation, which is a very common ask for parents these days. And I personally feel this is over and above what you already know, right? And it is, of course, a very rich curriculum that I have developed. But I can share the whole curriculum with you. You can see and then decide, whether this will make any addition to your already what you know, right? But yeah, this is very specialized towards kids. Yeah. And as a bonus, get the free ebook manual, which I have written it 100+ pages, which is very handy, which after the training you can see. And you also get access to all the kids yoga content, which I was mentioning to you. The resource pool is there for 2 years. And you get access to all the recordings and all the training content for 3 months. And I also keep support call. So after the training, every month I keep support call to engage with all the teachers who are graduating from kids yoga teachers, to know about, the practical things that they face after they start teaching. Because of course it is not straightforward when you teach yoga to adults. Is kids are different, right? So there are many things that will prop up after the training. So I'm happy to take all the questions after the training. I keep support call, and then anyone who wants to join, clarify their question, they're most welcome to join the training, that workshop, right? Take care.